Evolution produces perfection. What do you guys think? Do you strongly agree with that statement? Do you agree, neither agree nor disagree? Disagree, strongly disagree. Evolution produces perfection. So students from last semester went ahead, well, a year ago, because last semester I had a newborn, so spring 2019, students said D, disagree. Evolution produces perfection. We still had some students, though, agreeing with that statement. So I would also disagree. In fact, I would strongly disagree with that statement. Evolution produces perfection. And I went ahead and called up on the students who agreed with that statement and why they would think that evolution produces perfection. And they argued with me, or they debated, I should say, that evolution is trying to make that organism more fit. So how is that not perfect? Of course, as you guys know, anything that's perfect, absolute in science, it's probably going to be a false statement. Okay, let me teach you guys why evolution is not perfect, because it's not. So evolution is not trying to make, it's not this idea that this organism is going to be the all-perfect, ultimate organism that's ever going to exist. That's not the goal of evolution. It never is. It's that you don't understand evolution if that's what you're thinking. Many students think that way, so don't feel alone if you do. I did. I thought that evolution was leading organisms to be this perfect version of themselves. Really, what evolution is doing is making that organism survive in that environment at that current time. So that can change over time. And if we're talking about thousands, millions of years, it's going to change over time. So here's some examples that I want to show you all where that it's teaching us that evolution is not perfection. Here's a bat. A bat is going to have many different features. It's going to have it succeed in its environment. It has echolation. Echolation is going to help it find its food using that mechanism. Bats are going to have structural adaptations, such as their wings to help it fly. These different traits are going to have it succeed in its environment, which is a very dark cave, for instance. What if I place that creature in an aquatic environment? What if I put them in the ocean? Is flight going to help them succeed? Maybe echolation, that's a bad example, but is flight going to help them succeed in an all aquatic environment? Probably not. So the environment has a lot to do with those adaptations. Okay. Check this guy out. This is an artist's depiction of Neanderthals hunting an Irish elk. An Irish elk actually did exist. They no longer do. Here's a remnant of an Irish elk right here. An Irish elk had these massive, massive antlers, the males. They were so big because over time the females chose the males with those large antlers because they were succeeding in their fights to obtain rights to the female, mating rights. And so their antlers just grew so bulky over time. Well, the antlers, so that is evolution because females chose those males to have those big bulky antlers. So that was definitely evolution working. Did evolution lead to perfection? Well, the Irish elk would disagree with you that it did because they no longer exist. Their antlers got so bulky that they were no longer able to feed themselves appropriately. They were never able to live appropriately and kind of get from point A to point B without being hunted by these Neanderthals quite easily because they were so mobile from those bulky antlers. And so they are now extinct. So I would argue with her that evolution does not lead to perfection. It's far from perfect. Now having an organism that's completely extinct. Probably the main example given to you guys that you'll see in other textbooks is the cheetah. So the cheetah has an leg length that's going to be quite long. They have quite long limbs, and basically this is going to help them with speed. longer limbs, faster runner, and the cheetahs are quite fast in order to catch their prey and to obtain food to survive. Okay, that's great. They're quite fast. Speed increases. That sounds perfect. Well, with high speed comes longer limbs, comes the chance, a higher chance for those limbs to break. Longer legs are more prone for bones to be fragile. So I would actually argue with you there that that's not perfect, that I would not compensate being faster for being more injury prone. So yeah, those are just some examples showing you guys that evolution is not necessarily perfection.